Hello boys and girls, welcome to Unit 10 for Everyday Math. We are going to be working on reviewing, extending your knowledge of measurement, measures of length, weight, and capacity. Today's lesson is lesson 10.1. It's review of length. The objective for this lesson is to provide a review of units, tools, and measuring lengths in U.S. customary and metric systems. You will need a tape measure with you today, or at least one for you and a partner. The inch is a unit of length. Turn to a partner and talk about as many other units of length as you can. Pause the video now. Here are some units of length that you and your partner might have come up with. First we have the kilometer. Next we have meter, decimeter, centimeter, and millimeter. Boys and girls, I place these in order from the largest to the smallest. Then below those, I wrote down the mile, the yard, and feet. These, boys and girls, are two different types of measurement. The first one is the metric system, units of length, and the second one is called the U.S. customary. And we are one of the only countries that uses the customary unit of length. Here we have a table of metric units and what their conversions are. And notice you also have here the abbreviations. For kilometer, it is km. For meter, it is m. For decimeter, it is dm. For centimeter, it is cm. Millimeter is mm. And then we have the U.S. customary units. For a mile, it's mi. For yards, it's yd. For feet, it's ft. And of course, for inches, it's in. Other units of length can be found on pages 246 and 247 of your student reference book and the inside back cover of your Everyday Math Journal. So, boys and girls, what tools do we use to measure distances of length? Pause the video now and talk to a partner about this. So here are some tools used to measure distances of length that you and your partner might have thought of. Rulers, yardsticks, meter sticks, tape measures of course, and class templates. Others that you might not have thought of are the trundle wheel, which Miss Fury uses to measure certain fields she wants for games and activities outside, and also the odometer in an automobile, which measures miles traveled. Sometimes it's also in kilometers. You also have a measurement of how fast you're going called miles per hour. That's a different type of measurement. You want to have the right tool to measure the right distance. Would you use a yardstick to measure the distance between cities? No, you wouldn't. You probably would do that in an automobile. Would you measure circumference of a lid using a meter stick? No, you would use a tape measure. So you want to have the right measurement tool for the right measure. Now let's take a look at equivalent measurements. Again, equivalent means equal. So these are equal measurements. Is 18 inches more or less than 1 foot? We should say more. How many more inches than 1 foot? 6 inches is the correct answer. How many feet and inches are there in 18 inches? Well, there's 1 foot, and 6 inches. What fraction of 1 foot is 6 inches? Well, we put this in a fraction, we would say 6 over 12 total inches in a foot, or we could say 1/2. Can you rename 18 inches using a whole number and a fraction? Well, if we think about our last unit of fractions, we could think about, we have 1 foot in 18 inches, and then we have 6 inches left over, so that would be 1 1/2 feet. Make sure we always label. Now, boys and girls, let's look at more equivalent measurements. 2 yards is equal to how many feet? Well, I know 1 yard equals 3 feet, so 2 yards will equal 6 feet. 2 feet equal to how many inches? Well, 1 foot is equal to 12 inches, so 2 feet will be equal to 24 inches. 1 meter is equal to how many centimeters? Well, I know there are 100 centimeters on a meter stick, so that is the answer there. Other names of the following for the following lengths could be, if we have 2 feet 3 inches, you could name that as 27 inches, because I know 1 foot is 12 inches, so 2 is 24, plus 3 is 27. Another way you could label that is 2 1/4 feet, because 3 inches is 1/4 of a foot. If you have 1 1/3 yards, you could label that as 4 feet, because 3 feet equals 1 yard, and then you have another foot, which is 1/3 of a yard. Another way you could say it is 48 inches. That's the same as 4 feet. If you had 15 inches, you would have 1 foot 3 inches, because 12 inches equals a foot. If you have half a meter, that would be 50 centimeters, because we said above here that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. And if you have 5 feet, that's going to be 60 inches. And you could also say that that would be 1 yard and 2 feet. So those are just some examples. Today you're going to be working on a review of units of measure, and that's found on page 240 of your math journal. Now the first one, it can be a little tricky because they have measure, it says which is longer, the path from A to B or the path from C to D. A to B is located right here. C to D is on the side, so make sure you don't forget that. And then you have to be doing some more measurements here all throughout the page. If you finish in time, you can go on to page 242, and that is using your favorite multiplication algorithm to solve the following problems. Good luck and have fun.